Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully you are enjoying my channel at the moment. I'm posting a little bit more frequently, which I want to keep going forward, and I'm quite proud of that. But we're doing a little bit like half and half on my channel at the moment. So I am currently putting up weekly vlogs of my Orlando holiday, and I'm also going to be posting a lot more fitness, fat loss, tips and tricks over the next couple of weeks of days in the life, what I eat in a day, etc. Because I have started my own dieting phase for the next 12 weeks. Well, 12 weeks is like a rough end goal. So we're going to see how we go on, whether we need to stop it a little bit sooner. We will see and we assess. But that is what this is going to be about. So this YouTube, what I said I wanted to do is just sit down with you guys for not a really long time, because I didn't want to make this a really long video, because I feel the shorter it is, the more people will actually watch it and gain from it. So how I'm going to be breaking this up is I want to go through goal setting. Now I know it is the 18th of January. So you might be like, Sarah, I've already set my goals for the year. Or you might, be like, there's no point making goals for the year because it's the 18th of January and I feel like the year's already started, so I'll wait till next year, because genuinely people have that mindset. So if you do have your goals set for the year, you can even just listen to this and see if you've gone through the process like I did. Maybe you could add something, maybe you could, you might need to change something. Or if you haven't done them, it is not too late to set your goals, because I was actually just having this conversation with Anto on our walk just there, and I was telling him he needs to do this, because I have done this for the last maybe 5-6 years, and honestly I would have not achieved different things in my life that I've achieved if I didn't have them written down, and then actions of how to actually, because you can write down goals, but having a goal without action is just having a nice thought. You're not going to achieve something if you don't actually have actions down in place. So it needs to be planned out. It can't just be, I wanted this, I want that. So we're going to go through my goals, how I do my goal setting. I actually did this in Disney last week, just at the end of our trip. We were in our hotel, which will come in vlogs, but we were staying in a hotel, Animal Kingdom Lodge, and we were looking out over the safari. And one morning we had a little bit of a slower morning, and I went down to the shop, because I didn't even have a notebook with me. I went down to the shop and all I could find was the book out of Up, the Disney movie. All I could find was this, and I don't know, it kind of was like, it drew me in because it said my adventure book, and I was like, do you know what? I really just feel like this could be the right book for me to write in my goals for this year. But also then I opened the page and it says stuff I'm going to do, and I was like, it's a sign. So I got that, and I just remember one morning I sat on the balcony and I wrote out all my goals, and it just made me feel a lot clearer. I actually woke up the second last day of our holiday feeling really, really anxious, really heavy thoughts, really just like super anxious to get back to work. And I also felt not to get back to work because I love what I do, but it was because it was a week into January and I was looking online and I was seeing so many coaches back to it, and so many people starting their journey, and so many people putting up their goals, and I was like, I'm on my honeymoon, which I should be enjoying, but in the back of my head I was like, I need to get back to work, I need to get back to work. All these people have started work and I haven't. So I just brain dumped all my goals, and within an hour I just felt so much better. And I remember just having a really good day that day then, because I felt like I was like, okay, I have everything written down, now let's go enjoy the rest of our honeymoon, and then I can get back to it. So we're going to go through that. Then we're also going to go through my fat loss phase, my dieting phase for the next 12 weeks, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, what the plan of action is, and how you can get involved as well, how it might help you. And then I'm going to finish off by going through some of your questions, because I put up a question box that I was doing this YouTube and said that I would just try and, go through a few of your struggles, a few things that you're like really struggling with that's stopping you from losing weight or seeing changes or feeling your best this year. And I'm going to go through them. So let's get started. First off, we're going to go through goal setting for the year ahead. I have a nice little coffee. It's been a very productive day so far. It's Sunday. I do like to take Sundays as a chill day, as a little bit of a slow day, but I got up this morning at 8:30 and I have recorded so much. This new series that I'm doing on Instagram of my fat loss series has just given me so much, more purpose and like excitement. On top of my coaching. It's just, I lost my love for creating content for a little while, because I just wasn't sure what people actually wanted, but you guys are absolutely loving this, which is giving me a lot of like purpose to get up and get things done. So I've been recording all day, I started at 8:30 and we're hitting about 4 o'clock now. So I shouldn't be having a coffee at 4 o'clock on a Sunday, but we're not going to judge here. This is a safe space. Obviously, I have some personal things written down that I'm not going to read out my exact goals for the year because, again, they are quite personal, but I'm going to explain how I go through them. So I start off bang in the middle by writing 2026 goals, and then I have a spider diagram. So I break it up into a few different sections. So my sections are coaching and career. So I just like to put coaching in that, whatever career you're in. Career goals. Financial goals is my next one. Personal and mindset is my next one. Physical and health habits is my next one. Then I have relationships, which is 5. And then for me personally, I just put another one of social media, what I want to achieve and what I want to do and what I want to be consistent with social media. So if you're not a content creator, if you're not social media, you can just do the 5 pillars rather than 6 pillars. So what I start off by doing is writing down everything I want to achieve this year. Some things are way out there that could take 3-4 years to achieve. But I still just want to write them down because if you start off the year by saying, I won't achieve that, well, then you never will. So I still write them down, but then I'm also realistic in what I can achieve. So I like to put maybe 1 or 2 things down that I think, whoa, maybe that's a bit too big, but I'm going to write it down anyway. And then I always write down about 2 or 3 things that are realistic, that can be achieved, but will take hard work. That it's not like a huge dream or something that could take 10 years that I could do this year if I work really hard for it, but it's going to take hard work. So in terms of my coaching and my career, it's really what I want to achieve this year. One main one being is that I want this year, last year I built and launched the app Strengthen Us. So I have so many of you incredible ladies on that. We have our 8-week challenges that are running. So we have our 5 challenges planned out for this year. But one thing I really want to bring in this year that I haven't had the time for over the last couple of years because of building it is community. So I really want to bring in community now, which is why I have started a lot more in my broadcast channel on Instagram. We've gone from like 4K of you to over, I think it's over 10K, nearly 11K of you in the last couple of days. And I'm just feeling like there's so much of a community feel on Instagram at the moment and TikTok, and I'm just loving it so much. So that is one thing I really want to focus on this year is community and just people seeing my page as like their safe space, their safe coach, their someone that they like to watch and feel like a part of. But I want to do community events. So I'm going to be holding a fitness retreat at the end of the year in October. I've done 2 of them before in Portugal, but I think we're going to do a new location this time. I will, of course, be posting when and what and all the details about that when I have that finalised. I want to do at least 2 community events in Ireland, but like one that's not a ticketed event. I've done a ticketed event before and it was really, a lot went into that mentally, physically, financially to do that. It's not a cheap thing to do by any means. So I want to do a non-ticketed event, just a walk, a meetup, coffee day, something like that. I want to do a run club. If any of you are clients or non-clients and would like to join in these community events, please comment down below of ideas that you would like to see, where you would like it, what you would like, because that would mean a lot for me to be able to just see what people want and then I can give the people what they want. But yeah, I want to do a lot more community events. I don't know if there's many of you in Dubai, but I was thinking of potentially doing a Dubai community meetup because I know we have a lot of clients in Dubai. So I was thinking that would be incredible. Me and Anto love Dubai as well. We were actually just on our walk there saying we would love to go for a few days just to work and chill out over there. We do love it. We would never personally move over there, but we do love it. So I have about 10 things written down for my coaching career one, but that is one that I said I would mention to you. For instance, one more is that I want to network a bit more with people in my field. I think I get so like, I'm online coaching, I sit behind my laptop, I record content. I want to network a bit more because it can be quite a lonely job, even though me and Anta do the same thing and we basically work together. So I have him and I have all of the coaches within Strengthen Us, but that's behind Zoom most of the time. So I want to network a bit more and, try go to different events or meet up with people, because as much as I put myself out there online, I'm not the most social of people. I have my best friends, I have my group, but I'm not the best at doing things that are like, I'm not a huge social person. I get quite socially awkward and socially anxiety. But people around me say that whenever I say that, they're like, I don't get that. You don't act like that at all. But I feel it. It's different of like, I can act, you know, confident, and I might look confident and feel but I mightn't feel confident. So I feel quite socially anxious in big groups. I'm more of a small group person, but I want to try nip that in the bud this year. Then my financial goals, personally, I'm going to keep personal to myself and my business, but I have them all written down. So I have 5 financial goals. As I said, 2 that I'm like, whoa, I don't know if that's possible. 3 that should be possible this year, but I need to write them down to make sure that they happen. Then my personal and mindset. So I'll read these ones out because, you know, these are ones that I don't mind reading out at all. So my personal mindset goals are, I actually wrote these last week. So it's funny, I already kind of forget what I've written down, which is really important. You need to keep looking at these each week to make sure that you're actually working on them. So no comparing to others, just use people as inspiration. So I got myself in a big rut last year of like looking at people online and be like, oh my God, they're doing so much better. They're doing so much better, but you just don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You never do. So that is one thing this year. Don't look at people as, oh my God, they're doing so much better. Look at them as an inspiration. Wow, they're doing incredible. I want to do incredible. Celebrate my wins internally rather than just going on to the next thing. So that is something I do all the time. Like I spent 6 years saving and investing to be able to build the app Strengthen Us. Last year, I spent 11 months building the app. It took every ounce of my life out of me, emotionally, physically. And when I launched it, I was like, okay, what's next? We need to do this, we need to do that. And I never actually sat back and was like, whoa, I just did that. So that is something that this year I want to be really proud of things that I do. Show up online more and not worry what other people think. I'm actually reading these before I even remember what I said, so I'm reading them out loud and then I might be like, fuck, you shouldn't say that online. But this one, yes, show up online more and not worry about what other people think. Again, I got myself a bit head over heels last year of like, oh, are people, you know, not liking my content, and what if they don't like that? But then it doesn't matter. If one person gains from it, then I'm doing my job. Feel more confident online. Yes, I show a big exterior sometimes, and I might show that, like, you know, I look real confident, but sometimes I'm not. I might put up a post and then be like, oh my God, you know, this, that, and I'm not 100% confident. Even coming on now, I'm looking at my skin and I'm like, oh, my skin's quite bad. Like, should I put on a bit of makeup? No, because my skin's like that at the moment. That's the way it is. And network more. I already said that. Physical and health habits. So 3 liters of water daily, 10 to 15 minutes walking outside. Sometimes I will get up, go to the gym. It's still dark when I go to the gym, come back, and then I'm sat at the computer all day, and then I'll just go downstairs and make dinner and then go to bed. So minimum 15 to 20 or 10 to 15 minutes outside, fresh air. That is one thing I do want to do, and daily movement. So even for today's my rest day. I actually have quite bad DOMS. I've trained very hard this week, but I wanted to get out just for even a walk, and that's what I did. A successful cut for May. I want to be lean and strong. So that's what I'm going to talk about after, but I am doing this as a very successful cut. We are not backing out of this one. No alcohol until May. This is something that I want to do, but I'm just going to see how I feel throughout it. This is not one that, like, if I did have a couple of drinks, you know, in 6 weeks time, that I would be annoyed at myself. Last year, with the wedding, with so much, I feel like I had a lot of social events last year where I did have quite a lot of alcohol on different social events. You know, they were all close to each other. So at the moment now, definitely I'm going to go at least 6 to 8 weeks without any alcohol. And then I do have my friend's birthday that I might have a couple one evening out of the 4 months. But to be honest, I'm going to see how I feel. I mightn't even. But my aim is to go until May without any alcohol and just have 4 months off. Alcohol for me, I don't have a bad relationship with it. I quite enjoy a couple of drinks when I'm out with my friends. But at the moment, I'm just so locked in with this dieting phase for the 12 weeks that I just want to nail it and I just want to feel amazing. And I'm going away in May for a trip that I'm really looking forward to, and I just want to feel my best. Consistent, no doom scrolling in bed, nail and track my sleep. So that is one that I want to do. Then going on to relationships. When I'm not working, be present. Monthly activity date day. That doesn't involve alcohol. So that is something me and Andrew spoke about last year. We did this. We did a monthly date day. So we rotated months. 1 month I would do a date day. The next month he would do a date day. We don't tell each other what we're doing. It's a surprise and it's just really nice. Nothing extravagant. For instance, we went on like this big hike you have to like wear hard helmets and you like scale up mountains and stuff. That's what we did one time. We did, oh my God, we went abseiling and canoeing another time. That was something that actually petrified me, but I did it for Anto because I knew he'd love it, but that petrified me. Yeah, we did great date days. We went to Malaga, we went out for a day. So yeah, it's just really nice, and we plan it each month because then it's just something to look forward to. So that's what we're going to do. Reply to my WhatsApps. How I still have friends is questionable, because I could actually have like 50 WhatsApps there, and I just don't, sometimes I don't get time to get through them. It's because I work on my phone all day long that come the evening, I just don't want to go on my phone. I just want a little bit of time away from my phone, but I need to reply to my friends. So I'm giving it like a two-day window max. Make time for friends more. Not that I don't make time for friends, but even me and my best friend used to go for a walk every Wednesday morning, and then that has kind of dwindled out because we got so busy. So we are bringing that in. And then I actually wrote, show Anto more love daily in terms of words, hugs, rather than gift giving. This is something I'm really bad at. Like if I just walk to Zara and I'm having a look, I'm like, oh, he'll love that. And I pick him up this and I pick him up that and I pick him up this. That's my love language. I love buying people things, even if it's a chocolate bar in the shop, even if it's a bottle of water. I love gift giving. My friends will say it and my family will say it. Like I just love it. And it just brings me so much joy. I'm very grateful when I get gifts, but I'm not great with receiving gifts. I would rather give gifts. And that is my love language, but that's actually not Anto's love language. We actually spoke about this and communicated about it, because my love language is I love acts of service. And I think it's really cool. We had this, I saw this video once and it was like, speak to your partner about what your love language is, because you'll actually be able to have a much better relationship. And then we spoke about it and I was like, my love language is acts of service. So like a little cup of tea, or like yesterday he like took the whole shower apart and like scrubbed it, and oh my God, it's immaculate, and just got like changed all the rubber things around the shower. Then he painted outside, all these little things that I like to do up the house when I didn't have much time this week, and they're little things that I'm like, oh my God, I just love him. Not that I don't love him when he doesn't do stuff like that, but Anto's love language is he loves words. So he loves like actually being shown love with like I love you, you know, etc, etc. So I need to show that more, because I'm not much of a speaker. I don't speak much of my emotions, even though I love them. I wouldn't run over and give people hugs all the time. So that is what I'm working on. And then my social media. Will I call out my social media goals? Maybe I will, because that's kind of like speaking out to the universe. And so what? So I would love to get to 25,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now that is a huge goal, but I would love that this year. I'm only on 2.5, maybe not even 2.5, but you know, it's one of those things that I could look at my Instagram that's over 600,000. I could look at my TikTok that's over 100,000, and look at my YouTube and be like, oh, I'm going to get rid of YouTube. It's not working for me. But that's not how I built my Instagram or my YouTube, or my TikTok. So I'm going to keep going with YouTube because I want to build a community here. So that is my goal there. TikTok, I'd love to get to 300,000, and Instagram 800,000. Now people might listen to that and say, oh, you just care about followers. No, I don't. I want to build my community. For me, followers means that it's potentially women that haven't seen my page before, are struggling with what, you know, health, fitness, what they're going through, and then they find my page and then they get help. So that to me is being able to help more people if I'm able to get to more people's eyes. My main focus for me, post daily on Instagram and TikTok, post weekly on YouTube, more personal posts and not just perfectly created reels. So if you see on Instagram at the moment, I'm just posting every day, like I'm literally recording and posting, recording and posting. They're not perfectly created, whereas I used to like batch record. It's taking a lot more time now out of my days, and it's taking a lot more because I have to record, then edit, post, and it is taking a lot more time, but I just find people are enjoying that. People just want more real content and not perfectly created. Give more free value, etc. And yeah, so that is all of that. Right, so the next part is what went well this year. So these are things that I want you then to look at. What went well, what didn't go well, and the main pillars that need to change so that what didn't go well start to go well. So that's what I want you to do next. So the first one is your goals. You have your 5 pillars. Write down all your goals. Then what went well last year? what didn't go well last year, and then what do you need to change that didn't go well to make it go well. So they're a little bit more personal, so I won't go through them, but that's the next part that I want you to do. Then what I want you to do is break it up into every 3 months. So January, February, March, I now have all of my pillars again: socials, relationship, physical, financial, career. What do I need to do in the next 3 months to make some of those things happen? Because it could come March and you haven't done any of those things because you haven't actually actioned anything. So I have my yearly goals and then I break it down into every 3 months so that I have to then achieve something within those 3 months, because trust me, the year will go by and you won't have achieved anything. So you have to break it down then into small actionables. It's like in a dieting phase. For instance, right now, if I'm losing 6 kg, I'm like, okay, I want to work on the first 2 kg by the end of February. Then I want to work on the next 2 kg by the end of March. And if you break it down like that, it's far easier to be able to achieve your goals than just having one massive weight loss goal for one massive time period. Because then the time period could come and it's like, oh God, I haven't even achieved it, because the weeks were just going by and you weren't actually being accountable to the goals that you set. So that is personally how I set my goals for the year, and I highly, highly, highly recommend you do it. Seriously, everyone, you can have different pillars, you know, whatever you want to work on. It doesn't have to just be financial, physical, mental, relationships. You know, it can be whatever you want to work on. You can set your own goals, but I just highly recommend that you have your goals there and have them close to you, whether it's in a little notebook beside your bed that you look at each night. I have this on my desk in my office that I look at most days. You know, you could have it in the notes in your phone. I used to have one in the notes of my phone. I'm raging because I had the last 5 years in the notes of my phone and everything that I'd achieved ticked off. And then I deleted all my notes and I forgot about that one. So now it's gone. But anyway, it is what it is. We start again. So yeah, I highly, highly recommend having it close, because trust me, you could get to April or May and then you'd be like, oh my God, what were my goals? And then you look at them and then you're like, yeah, I did want to achieve that, but now I don't know if I'll be able to have time to achieve that. So I want everyone to go and set your goals. Now that is my yearly goals. Every single then week I will sit down and every month I will sit down and I will look at the month ahead, whether that's business, physical, what I want to achieve that month. So at the start of every month, I then look again and I break it down into months. And then at the start of every week, every Sunday, I will sit down and I plan out my week, how I'm going to achieve my weight loss goal, how I'm going to achieve, what days I'm going to be working out, what days I can go for longer walks, what days I have appointments or calls or something that is going to make the day really long and I won't be able to get things done. I need to have everything planned out. Now I'm going to have a lot of moms listening to this, and you guys are going to have it a little bit more difficult, that you won't be able to plan every single second of every single day because kids' appointments might change, dropping off to school, collecting from school, things may change here and there. But I still do always recommend to my clients that you have a rough plan in place for the week, because if you don't even have a rough plan in place in the week, then you're just hoping that things are going to happen. So I would still recommend, that you have your days planned out, what days you're going to go for a longer walk, what days you're going to train, then what days you have all your different appointments. Then, you could look at Tuesday and be like, oh God, okay, the kids have to go here, there, I have 2 appointments, I won't get a gym session in the gym. But maybe you have a 40-minute gap in the evening that you could do a home workout. That's why on Strengthen Us app, we have home workouts and gym workouts available to everyone, because then that means people can swap and change if they need to. You can swap your exercises so that you can do home one day. But that is really important that you try and plan out, because you can even plan for things not to happen before they even happen. Okay, we're going to get into my plans of action for my dieting phase. So long story short of my 12-week dieting phase and why I'm doing one, because I have had some messages on Instagram of ladies saying, why are you doing this? You don't need to be losing weight. I don't think you're in a position that you need to lose weight, etc. So last year was absolutely incredible. It was such a good year. It was a very stressful and busy year with work in terms of building the app and launching the app. But around that, we had our wedding. We went on holiday after the wedding. Really from the start of September was when I really, kind of pulled back from being so focused on training and nutrition, because I always am. Now, I never missed my training sessions, but with our wedding in September, then we went on holiday, and then we had quite a lot of social events for a period of time. But I also had 2 high roxes. I did 4 high roxes last year, but I did 2 high roxes, which meant that I was just eating a lot more food to fuel the training that I was doing. So around that stage, I was never going to do a little diet around a high rocks. And then coming into Christmas, we had 2 weeks at home for Christmas, which was loads of social events. We had a wedding, we had so much going on, and then we went on our honeymoon straight away to Disney World. So it was essentially like a month over Christmas and our honeymoon, where I still trained all my sessions each week. We got in loads of output, but I came back feeling a little bit like, do you know what? I just really want to set a goal. I did a very small dieting phase last year. It was 5 weeks long. It was just before, you know, the wedding and my hen and everything, that I just wanted a little bit of a tidy up phase. But I haven't done a full dieting phase probably in about 4 years. And at the moment I'm sitting at about 70 kg, and I love sitting at about 65 kg. Now, if you've been a long-term supporter, follower, you know, fam, you will know that I was very, very lean at one stage. So I started off my fitness journey at about 9 years ago, and before I became a coach, I always struggled with my weight, struggled to lose weight, always felt uncomfortable, and I ended up going then into a dieting phase, and I locked in after years and years of doing so many different diets, struggling to lose weight, gaining weight, binge eating, etc. I then went into a dieting phase and I lost about 14 kg. But then I got obsessed with food, obsessed with tracking, never wanted to gain weight, just so scared of gaining weight, and I ended up kept losing weight after that. And I got very, very skinny, very, very lean, lost my period, hormones everywhere, barely any body fat, and I was sitting at a very low weight. So I am now in the position that I know I would never go back there. I think sometimes when people see me in a dieting phase, they're like, you've been lean before, don't go back that lean. I would never go back that lean. But I have been one side, I have been the other side. So I've been heavier, I've been extremely skinny. I want to be in the middle where I am strong, I have muscle, I can lift heavy, I'm healthy, but I want to get a little bit leaner because I just want to challenge myself at the moment. And that is the plan of action for these 12 weeks. We are going away in May for a trip, and really we've nothing really on over the next couple of months, that I'm just so locked in with work, I'm so locked in with physical, mental changes, that I'm like, it's the perfect time to do a dieting phase, and then that'll be me done for, definitely not dieting at all for the rest of the year. So that is the plan of action, dieting until just the end of April. And I am just finished my week 1 this week. So I started at 70.1 kg, and we are just going to see how it goes. So I'm already down 1.3 kg in a week, which is a lot. Now, you might be like, whoa, how did she lose 1.3 kg in a week? Well, I just put up a check-in video on Instagram today to explain that. But the reason around this is because I was on a flight last week. I've just come back from Disney World, which I was eating a lot more food. Now, we could have been eating 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 calories a day, because one donut could be 400 calories. Your dinner over there could be 2,000 calories. It's very easy to eat calories over there. And we were just completely enjoying ourselves. And then also, I have my period this week. So today is the last day of my period. So that is why I dropped weight quite quickly this week. This week coming, I'll probably sit around this weight now and not really see much of a drop. So that is the plan of action over the next 12 weeks. Now, how you guys can get involved is, well, of course, my 8-week challenges I run 5 times a year. Right now we are on the first one. We're in the first week of the January challenge, and that is sold out. That is closed. That is our VIP coaching. That is our, I don't say one-to-one coaching because it's a group aspect in the WhatsApp group, but you have weekly check-ins with myself and the team. So that is our VIP coaching, which is the 8-week challenges. The next 8-week challenge is going to be starting in March, and we are going to be opening spaces in the middle of February. So make sure you keep an eye on my Instagram for spaces on that if you're looking for those spaces. They do sell out within a week, 2 weeks max. So please make sure if you do want them that you grab your space for that. Then we have our 2 monthly memberships, which a lot of you have joined in the last couple of days, which is incredible. As I mentioned, there's so many more of you now on Instagram at the moment, loads of new faces. So welcome if you're a new face. Thank you very much for supporting me. But yeah, we have our monthly memberships then, which is on the brand new Strengthen Us app, which is the most incredible app that you will find. And I say that with full confidence. Just to even show you the app really quickly. So we have Active and Active Plus. Active is only $29.99 a month and Active Plus is $39.99 a month. In this, you get the only difference between the two is if you are someone that wants high rocks programs and running programs that are progressive, then you want to be in the Active Plus because they have the progressive running and high rocks programs. But if you're not wanting a race specific program for running or high rocks, then Active is going to be perfect for you. Within Strengthen Us, what I love about Strengthen Us is that you have your daily tracking. So I have my weight here from today, my steps get pulled in, but I didn't have my watch on today. So my steps have not been pulled into that. Your water, your sleep, then I have all my habits here. Then you get your workouts, whether you want home, gym, we also have Time Crunch. You get your high rocks workouts, your running workouts, yoga, meditation. Then in the food, you also get your personalized calories and macros, depending on your goal. And then you also have a full built-in food tracker, so you do not need any other food tracking app. And then you have a full built-in 7-day meal plan that you can customize to the meals that you like. We have thousands of recipes within the app that you can bring into your meal plan. Then I have a full Learn Hub section with so many videos, ebooks. We have guest speakers. You have your progress section showing you all your workouts, your runs, everything. You have a full Facebook group as well. There is so much within the app. So if you do want to join, I'll pop the link down below. If you have any questions at all, pop them in the comments. So that is how you can get involved if you do want more coaching. But right now I'm also doing a 12-week Transform Together community on my broadcast channel on Instagram. So if you just want to pop onto Instagram, you'll be able to see that in my channel. It's just in the bio. It just says Sarah's Inner Circle and you can just join that. Some people did say last week that they weren't able to join, but I think that is if you have a Instagram update that you need to update, then you may need to update your Instagram and then you'll be able to join in. And then in there, I am just posting fat loss tips each day. I'm being accountable every single evening with what I have done myself that day, and keeping you guys accountable. And then for the first few weeks, I am buying some of you a treadmill. Whoever's being accountable, whoever is interacting, whoever's, really showing me that they're trying. And then each week I'm also putting in a free PDF on fat loss. So get in there, get joining, get on my page if you do want help with your fat loss, because I'm putting up so much content at the moment. What I'm doing for my deficit is, please know that everyone's calories are completely different to them. You could do the same calories as what I'm on and you could gain weight. So please know that. Your calories are going to be dependent on your height, your weight, your age, your activity levels. So you could do my calories and they could be your maintenance, or you could do my calories and they could be way too low. You only last a week or two, you fall off, you gain weight back. So it's really, really important that you do focus on getting your own calories. And if you are on the app, you will get your personalized calories to you because you fill in your form at the start. So I have my calories, I'm tracking my calories every single day and hitting 150 grams of protein. I am meal prepping a lot more at the moment and focusing on main meals rather than having loads of little snacks, and it's keeping me fuller for longer. My Ninja Creamy is the best thing in the whole world. That is seriously helping me diet at the moment. Having a full tub of ice cream every single night is chef's kiss. I am doing 3 30-minute cardio. I actually did 4 30-minute cardio this week because my steps were a little bit lower, but I am doing 3 30-minute cardio and about 10,000 steps each day. Today I only got about 6,000 steps, and to be quite frank, I'm not getting any more, but I did get some more other days. So I'm just averaging them out every single day so that it averages out for the week. And then we will just assess each week. I might bring up my calories if my weight keeps dropping down. We might have to bring them down in the weeks coming, and we'll just see how we get on. You have to assess every single week. That's what we do with clients, and that's what I'll be doing myself. So I'll be doing updates as well on this. So we're going to finish off with a couple of questions that came through on my Instagram. Someone asked me this question and I actually screenshotted it because I thought it was a really good question that I could put into this. I'm seriously curious how you're not hungry with that much activity, because I put up that I did 17,000 steps. I eat for volume. I'm still a little bit peckish. I eat 1,700 calories. So as to not get hungry, I focus on insulin, glucose spikes. getting 25 grams of fiber, 130 grams of protein and enough fats. I know everyone's different, but 1800 calories with weight training and 17,000 steps seems difficult. Any tips about not getting hungry? So I put up the other day that I got 17,000 steps, but I didn't. I got 13,000 steps and then I did my cardio, 30 minutes cardio, which brought it to 17,000 steps. I don't track my cardio as steps. Additional cardio should be additional to your steps. It should not be included in your steps. If you're doing 10,000 steps a day and you're not losing weight, you're not seeing any changes, and your coach brings in 3 cardio a week, but then you continue, so you're now doing cardio, but you can continue to stop at your 10,000 steps, but the cardio's in that. You've actually now decreased your steps to about 6,000 because the cardio is now bringing it to 10. So you haven't actually brought any additional movement in because you've now lowered the steps to bring the cardio in. It's now the same 10,000, so you've now no additional, even though it's actually feeling harder. So your additional cardio should be additional. But for me, right now, I may get hungry in the weeks coming, but I wasn't that hungry this week because I've just had so much food over the last few weeks. I wasn't that hungry. 1800 calories is actually quite a lot if you do it well. So I focus on volume eating, I focus on having my main meals, I pre-track everything in the morning, which means I get to have more food throughout the day. If you don't pre-track, you'll just snack. I have protein in each meal, I focus on fiber in each meal. Fats in the morning. I focus on getting more fats in the morning because that keeps me more satiated throughout the day. Water. If you're not drinking enough water, you will find that you're hungry and you want to snack a lot more. And also, I think because I know I'm having a full tub of ice cream each night, I'm not really thinking about food as much because I know I've loads of nice food in the evening. So that's another one. And it's only week 1 of my diet. You shouldn't be starving the week 1 of your diet. But come towards the end of your dieting phase, you will feel a little bit hungry, and you need to be okay with that, because if you are a little bit hungry in a deficit, that's normal because you are eating less than you're burning. That's the whole point of losing weight. You are going to feel a little bit hungry. You shouldn't be ravenous. You shouldn't be starving that you're like dragging your head off the pillow, but you will find that you're a little bit more hungry, and that is normal. But it could be down to a couple of things, but you may just be on too low of calories as well. So it depends. It just depends on the individual. I know you've given me your height and your weight and everything there and your age, but it depends on the individual. Everyone needs to find out their own calories for themselves, and you might need higher calories. If you're losing weight quite quickly, you need to maybe bring up your calories a little bit more, or you need to focus on when you're eating, what you're eating, and maybe change around your meals that they keep you fuller for a little bit longer. Can you still lose weight without tracking? You absolutely can. What I focus on the main pillars there is having main meals and trying to avoid having loads of little snacks. I would actually try focus on a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, and maybe one snack, or like let's say your Ninja or whatever it is in the evening, so that you know you're having those same meals. If you think about it, bodybuilders 20 years ago didn't have a food tracking app, and they were getting on stage getting very lean. I'm not that kind of coach, but I'm just saying people have done it before without food tracking apps. So for instance, if you have a pot of rice for dinner each night, well then maybe just have 3/4 of that. If you're having 2 handfuls of potatoes each night, have a handful and a half. So trying to reduce your portions a little bit more, adding more fruit and veggies so that you're adding more color to your meals. With your fats, being a little bit more mindful of just snacking on fats, dark chocolate, peanut butter, etc. Trying to even weighing them out without tracking. You can just even weigh out the actual amount, so you know what you're actually having. Let's say you're having peanut butter. Instead of just whacking it on, you're now going to weigh out 10 grams, and you'll have that each day so that you're a little bit more mindful of what you're actually having. Focusing on having protein in each meal, focusing on having some sort of fiber in each meal. They're going to massively help. And then also trying to focus on a few lower calorie items. So you might be having, a banana a day, mango, pineapple, etc. And they may be quite high in calories when they're all racking up. Adding more berries to your fruit will be really beneficial in the mornings because it's going to fill you up for a lot longer, give you more fiber, and it's going to be lower in calories as well. So you definitely don't have to track your food, but what I would be saying is track in your mind what you're having rather than the exact calories, but focusing on protein in each meal is going to be really important. How to not feel guilty if you have a day off from the gym. Girl, you need a day off from the gym. If I went to the gym today, I'd have a shit session and I wouldn't actually build any muscle or have any benefit to me at all. I had to train 5 days in a row this week because I couldn't train on Monday because we just came back from our trip. So I had to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday in a row. And yesterday's session was quite shit, to be honest. Didn't have a good session at all because normally I train Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. and give myself that break in between. If you're not giving yourself a day off from the gym and a rest day, you're not going to be building enough muscle, you're not going to be recovering well, and you're also not going to push hard enough in your session, so you're not actually going to see as much results. So see it from that side. How do I know, is my goal realistic? This depends. Have you tried to achieve it before and you've really not been able to achieve it? You know, an unrealistic goal, I want to lose 20 kg in 8 weeks. Like, that's a seriously unrealistic goal. So that, you might need advice from a coach there. Like, I could tell you within 2 seconds if your goal is unrealistic or not. But it also depends on your lifestyle, your activity, what you're able to achieve, if you've achieved these goals before. You know, because someone who is dieting for the first time, they've never dieted before and they only need to lose a couple of kg, and someone who bikini competitor, like, you know, their goals are crazy and they do mad shit to achieve their goals. So that goal would be unrealistic for someone who is just wanting to lose a little bit of weight. So I can't actually, that's kind of like how long is a piece of string, but I would be able to tell you if you told me your goal. But if you think it's very unrealistic, it may be, but it would depend on the goal and then the individual. Will you drink alcohol during these 12 weeks? If yes, how do you fit it in? So as I mentioned, I am going to try do the 12 weeks without it, but I might have a social event here or there. It'll just be a lot less than usual. You know, I might have 1 or 2 social events within 3 or 4 months, whereas I might normally have 2 a month. So when I am dieting, I will maybe bank about 100 calories each day coming up to the event. I will focus on a high protein meal. If I'm going out for a night out, I will have either chicken or steak. I will get potatoes instead of you know, fries. I will ask for extra veg on the side if I'm out for a meal. But in terms of alcohol, I will get either a vodka or a gin with soda water and lime. I will avoid all cocktails, wine, beer, and I will just focus on having a spirit with a 0-calorie mixer, because that's going to be way lower in calories. And also, if you have it with soda water, you're getting a lot of water in throughout the evening. That's personally what I do, and just try limit the amount you're having. Then the next day, I take no shit. I get up, I go for a walk, I get out, I get moving, I get straight back to my day. I usually have my protein pancakes because it kind of feels like, you know, a sweet meal, but I get straight back to my food. I don't waste the day at all. So I know that sounds tough, but it's got to be done. Meal plans, we can prepare and follow along with your journey. I'm putting up all my meals. I literally just recorded my mango curry and my chicken chorizo that I meal prep for the week. So I recorded them, so I'll have them up this week. So make sure you go have a look at my Instagram. So we're going to do a couple more questions. There is quite a lot here, but what I'll do is I'm going to like make videos of some of these and put them on socials, and then bring some of these into future YouTubes, because there's quite a lot here. And I know this video is quite long already. So, are you expecting to see weight loss during fat loss? Very good question, because some people don't realize fat loss and weight loss are different things, can be different things. So you can lose weight and it can be losing muscle. You can lose fat and not lose weight because you're building muscle at the same time, or at maintenance. But yes, I am going to be in a weight loss phase as well as a fat loss phase. So I'm going to be doing both. But because I'm going to be hitting my protein, over my protein a little bit, and focusing on progressive overload and pushing in my sessions, like I weight lift. If you are going to the gym and you're just lifting the same weights all the time, you're not really progressing in your weights, you're not lifting heavier, you're not going to be building muscle. So that is something a lot of people don't put enough effort into, and then they're like, why don't I look much different? How to not fall off the wagon on the weekends. There's many things here. I mean, you know, I could have just said this weekend, oh, Anto, let's go out for a big meal. I've done really well this weekend, so I'm going to go out for a big meal, a few drinks, let's get started then tomorrow. But that big meal and a few drinks could bring me way over this weekend. And right now I'm locked in. And that's the thing about dieting. You know, for a dieting phase, I want to get in and I want to get out, because dieting is not fun. Dieting is not enjoyable at all. So you don't want to be dieting for a year or 2 years. But the thing as well is, we have so many clients that do have social events, and you absolutely can see changes with social events in your dieting phase. It's how you manage them. So for instance, what I recommend doing is, when you have a dieting phase, I recommend having a goal and a timeline. So for me, I have a 12-week timeline. I know there's one weekend that I'm going to be in Italy because we're doing a charity run, but I already know, because we're going with a company, and that company has given us like a timeline, and there's a pizza making class. I think there's a meal out and a dinner out. So I know that I'm going to have one weekend there of, I'm in Italy, I'm having pizza, I'm having pasta. Then my friend's birthday is one weekend that I might have a few drinks. So that's already 2 weekends of maintenance. Now we're down to 10 weeks of dieting. So that's important. When people say, I was dieting for 4 months, and I'm like, oh, so you you were in a deficit for 4 months, every single week, tracked 100%. They're like, no, well, I had this. And I'm like, oh, so you actually dieted for 4 weeks out of the 4 months. And it's good for you to know that. It's not that you're like, oh, Sarah, that's not true and I'm trying my hardest. It's just so you're aware that you actually weren't dieting for that period of time. So for me, I'm already down to 10 weeks of dieting. So if I had another 6 social events, let's say, well, then I'm only dieting for 4 weeks out of the 12. So I do recommend picking and choosing your social events. So especially, let's say you're doing, for our clients, they do 8-week challenges. So out of the 8-week challenge, if someone has 4 social events, we will be honest and say, okay, well, your results may be slower because you are essentially only dieting for 4 weeks. But what I recommend doing is you can bank some calories around if you want to have some more on the weekends. But if you want to make some changes to your weekend and you have a social event, there's 2 sides of it. One side, if you're doing a smaller deficit, you just lock in for that period of time. Maybe not getting a meal out. Maybe when you are getting a meal out, you're making huge changes, or not having alcohol that weekend, because if you have alcohol, you'll have food after and then you won't train the next day. So you may have a period of time where you want to make severe changes. And if you do, you're going to have to make sacrifices for that period of time, because dieting is not forever. But then on the other side of things, making changes to your weekends can be huge. So if you do have a social event, banking some calories coming up to that, but not a huge amount that you can't train, or you go overboard on the weekend. Having high protein meals around your meal out, picking the best choice or the best options when you are out. So I'll always go for like steak and potatoes, extra veg on the side. But remember, guys, if you watch Gordon Ramsay, or if you watch any chef programs, I love chef programs, they are using so much butter, so much oil. Your steak and potatoes could be 2,000 calories, but you're tracking a little steak and a few baby potatoes for 400 calories. They are basting it in oil. They are basting it in butter. They want you to come back. And that's not to scare you away from your meal, but just to be aware of that. I always try opt for the steak or chicken because it's going to be higher in protein rather than a pizza or pasta, etc. If I'm dieting. If I'm not dieting or from a maintenance, I'm going to enjoy what I want at that period of time. I'll ask for extra veg on the side. Do I need starter, main, dessert? No. When I'm on holiday in Disney, we had starter, main, dessert. We may as well have eaten the legs off the table. I was eating everything, enjoying myself, because I knew I was getting back to normal after that. That's what holidays are for. That's why on holiday I go all out. I enjoy everything. I have no limits. But I will make some changes to make myself feel good while I'm away. But when I'm dieting, I will make changes. I will ask for extra veg. I will ask for sauce on the side, because they're usually going to use a lot more sauce than you would use. I will change my drinks from maybe a cocktail on holiday. I would change it to a vodka soda lime, like I mentioned earlier. I will have a lot more water at the table. And then it's the next day, getting straight back to normal. It's not I went way over calories last night, so I'll just start again tomorrow on Monday. No, get straight back to it Sunday. Get out moving, get back to it, and know that you've probably had a higher sodium meal. You've probably had more food, and you've probably, if you have had alcohol, your weight will probably be up on Monday, and you just need to know that that's going to happen. Potentially you're at maintenance for that week, and now we get back to it. So you don't have to cut out all social events when you're dieting, but it's making changes around that. And that's why our clients see results, but also have their social life and have fun as well. But we're also very realistic. If a client came to us and said, oh, I'm going to drink alcohol and eat takeaways every single 8 weeks of the 8-week challenge, you're probably not going to see results. And we have to be honest, because the clients would come back then at the end of the 8 weeks and say, I didn't see results. Why is that? So we're always honest, and I'm always honest when it comes to that. But I have seen changes in the past while having social events in there. It's just how you manage them. So if you have a social event coming up, you can make changes around that. Right, guys, I'm going to answer one more. The best workouts for fat loss. Good question. There is no workout for fat loss. Fat loss comes from energy balance, which is what you eat and what you burn. So your input and your output. Calories in versus calories out. So you could do all the workouts in the whole world, train 10 workouts a week, and see absolutely no results if you are still in a calorie surplus. So workouts are so important for building muscle, obviously burning calories as well. Yes, keeping movement in, but you need to be in a calorie deficit to see results and to lose weight. So no one workout, no one exercise, no one HIIT class is going to help you lose weight if you're still in a calorie surplus. So what the benefit of working out is, you are building muscle so that when you do lose the body fat or lose weight, you're going to show a lot more muscle. More muscle is going to mean you look leaner and more defined and more quote unquote toned, because you're going to have more muscle there, and that's what definition is. So it's really important to do our workouts to get strong, to get leaner, but it all comes down to being in a deficit. It is so important that you do not change your workouts every single day and every single week, because you will not see results. You need to build up your weights over the weeks. On the app, they change each 4 weeks, but they progress. And in the 8-week challenge, they change every 8 weeks. So that is really important, that you stick to your workouts for a period of time so that you're progressing with the weights over time and you're lifting heavier over time so that you're then building muscle. If you change your workouts each week, you're not going to be building muscle. You will not see changes. Guys, I'm going to leave that here because this video is actually a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. And if I don't go downstairs and enjoy some of Sunday with Anto, I will be divorced. No, he's enjoying himself watching. I think he's watching a series downstairs. But I won't lie, I've hit a wall today. I'm quite tired today. You can probably see it in my eyes. So I'm going to edit this. I'm going to get this up. And I have not cleaned the house today. I usually do a deep clean on a Sunday, but I just wanted to get loads of content done for you guys. But I'm going to change the sheets at least, and do the toilets. And then we actually have someone coming on Friday to deep clean our marble floors, which I'm very excited about. Anto told me about that. And he organised it and booked it. Very exciting. So yeah, I think we may be doing our date day next weekend, which it's Anto's month. He is organising date day this month. So I don't know if it's this weekend coming or if it's next weekend, but whatever weekend it is, I will vlog it and bring you guys along. But next week is the next vlog of our Orlando trip, and then I'm also going to be doing updates of my dieting phase throughout, answering more of those questions like weekly Q&As, etc. And yeah, just let me know what you'd like to see. It would be really helpful. Do you want to see workouts? Do you want me to bring the camera to the gym? Do you want days in the life? Do you want like longer, more in-depth what I eat in a day? I don't know. You let me know. But I would really appreciate if you let me know. I would really appreciate a like and subscribe to my channel. It means the world, because I really do want to grow my YouTube. And thank you so much for supporting me, watching this video, and I hope you come back for more.